Welcome back. Tina Turner admitted she considered assisting suicide in 2016 before her husband ERWIN BACH donated his kidney to her. The beloved star died at the age of 83 at her home in Kusnach near Zurich, Switzerland, after battling with health troubles for years. She revealed in her memoir that at the end of 2016, she signed up to an assisted suicide organization as she mentally prepared herself for the possibility of dying. Turner had found out that her unmanaged high blood pressure had accelerated her kidney damage, and if her body was going to shut down, she started making peace with the idea of death. Her husband, Batch, ended up donating his kidney to her in 2017. The final image Tina posted of herself on March 22, 2021 showed her looking frail as she told her fans she was excited for the release of her documentary, Tina. In an excerpt of her book published by dailymail.com, Turner wrote, "By December 2016, my kidneys were at a new low of 20% and plunging rapidly, and I faced two choices, either regular dialysis or a kidney transplant. It wasn't my idea of life, but the toxins in my body had started taking over. I couldn't eat. I was surviving, but not living. I began to think about death. If my kidneys were going and it was time for me to die, I could accept that. It was okay. When it's time, it's really time. I didn't mind the thought of dying, but I was concerned about how I would go. One of the benefits of living in Switzerland is that assisted suicide is legal, though the patient has to inject the legal drug herself. There are several organizations that facilitate the process, including Exit and Dignitas. I signed up to be a member of Exit just in case. I think that's when the idea of my death became a reality for Erwin. He was very emotional about not wanting to lose me, not wanting me to leave. Sinatana revealed that it was in that moment that her husband offered her a kidney. She recalled, she said he didn't want another woman or another life. We were happy and he'd do anything to keep us together. Then he shocked me. He said that he wanted to give me one of his kidneys. I was overwhelmed by the enormity of his offer, but because I love him, my first response was to try to talk to him out of taking such a serious and irreversible step. She revealed that Erwin had to go through a battery of psychological tests to make sure he was donating a kidney for the right reasons. Tina said, "Our big day was scheduled April 7, 2017. Two operating theaters were prepared, one for the donor and one for the recipient. Two surgical teams, two of everything. Erwin's operation took place first. While I was understandably anxious about the transplant, I was far more concerned about him. After about an hour, it was my turn. When I woke, I was so groggy that everything, lights, sounds, smatterings of conversations, visits from doctors and nurses, felt dreamlike. It took me a while to understand that I was in intensive care, surrounded by what seemed like 100 machines, starting my new life as a woman with a healthy kidney. The following day, after a few tentative stretches of my fingers and toes, I realized that I felt fine. The best moment was when Erwin came rolling into my room in his wheelchair. Tina Turner's death was announced on May 24. On April 9, in what her believed to be her final public remarks, she told The Guardian how she hoped the world would remember her and how she did not fear death. "How would you like to be remembered?" The Guardian asked. "As the queen of rock and roll, as a woman who showed other women that it is okay to strive for success on their own terms." Asked what frightens her about getting older, she replied, "Nothing. This is life's full adventure, and I embrace and accept every day with what it brings." Turner is survived by two of her four sons. Two preceded her in death, and her 67-year-old husband, ERWIN BACH. The pair married in 2013 after dating for nearly 30 years. Born Anna Mae Bullock in 1939 in Brownsville, Tennessee, to Zelma and Floyd Bullock, Turner overcame a turbulent childhood and abusive marriage to become a musical sensation and legendary performer. In her early 20s, she found fame with the Ike and Tina Turner Revue, a live act with her former husband. Behind their veneer of success and marital bliss, she endured brutal abuse throughout the marriage. They divorced in 1978. Turner, determined to succeed on her own and with four sons to raise, stoned fans and the media by speaking publicly about the abuse. I wanted to stop people from thinking that Ike and Tina were so positive, that we were such a great team, Turner explained in an eponymous documentary. By the early 80s, she was a musical powerhouse in her own right, standing shoulder to shoulder with the world's most revered rock stars. Electrifying performances with Mick Jagger and David Bowie set her success on fire, and she was quickly celebrated with awards and a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Throughout her career, Turner won 8 Grammys from 25 nominations and 3 Lifetime Grammy Awards. Her final stadium concert was in Sheffield, England in 2009. Thanks for listening.